Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour on Saga 960. A real pleasure of mine tonight to introduce you to a fascinating young lady who I think has got, number one, an interesting business that I think will intrigue you all and maybe even inspire some of you to become creative. But then also she's written a book that might actually be extremely helpful in transforming you. I want to introduce you to, if I could, Kimberly Smith. She is the owner of Young at Heart Painting and KimberlyFlyDesign.com, where she facilitates virtual events, one being virtual painting workshops. And she does that with people that are seniors, with young people. And I've even seen that she's done it for a whole bunch of singles, which sounds like could be fun. Who knows?
Yeah.
And she is hosting virtual events for large organizations like LinkedIn and Canada's MNP.
Yeah.
But also really interesting, Kimberly wrote a book called My Life by Design, the ultimate transformational journal and workbook. And she runs a weekly journal club on Monday evenings about that, to create a space where people can come together to support each other and their goals and use journaling as a tool. Kimberly, like, wow, how did you ever get into this? Because you were like a marketing person or something like that before.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And it's just like such an honor and privilege to just be on your show. I've heard such great things about you. And thank you so much for having me. This is the perfect time to be talking about something like this, because we're all like inside and looking at new ways to kind of keep each other engaged in activities. And really how I got started was, it started about 4 years ago when I was working in a long-term care home here in Toronto. And I noticed that there could be some more programming for seniors. And about, I guess, January 2018, I reached out to a friend that worked in the industry. And I said, listen, I'd really, really love to run the seniors painting class in your home. And I reached out to Natalie at Amica and Barrie. And she said, yeah, sure, come on up. So I went up there and we grabbed 8 residents and we sat at a table and I taught them how to paint. And the first class, we had really great feedback that she invited me to come back every other week. And I said, sure, no problem. I was really excited because I really wanted to see if this would take off. I've never taught painting before.
And so you were still had the corporate job at the time and you just did this for fun?
Actually, it was just after I was working in corporate. I was like in between jobs and deciding whether or not I wanted to continue to go into corporate or whether or not I wanted to start my own thing. And I said, you know what, let me see if I can try something out on my own.
And you did,
yeah.
And it worked out.
And I did. And it worked out. So, fast forward a couple years later, it's now March 2020. And there I was teaching classes like in about 30 centers and retirement homes and long-term care homes across Toronto and the GTA, impacting lots of seniors and their families. And then this COVID happened in March. And so I continued to look at other ways that I could engage my people in a virtual space. And I decided in March, I thought I'd try to run a virtual event online. And although the seniors' homes were closed, unfortunately, I thought, let's just do this online and try this online.
Worked out?
It worked out. So,
and I got to ask you, right behind you is a interesting picture of a couple under an umbrella or something like that. Is that your own painting?
It is, I was inspired by some of these paintings. It is the month of love. So we are in February. So I thought, why not? We got to have some themes happening behind us here. So I brought a couple paintings there.
We're chatting tonight with Kimberly Smith about her virtual painting lessons. And we're going to ask more about that in just a minute. We're going to take a break and come back more with Kimberly in a minute. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour on Saga 960. So we're talking about painting and also about COVID-19 and how to find your passion. And I reached out to someone because I saw that she was running a bunch of shows online, sessions online for virtual painting. And I thought, fascinating. What a great way to, get together and socialize with people during COVID-19. And so Kimberly Smith runs her own business that provides these virtual painting lessons. Kimberly, how did you go online and how did you get people online and how do you get them the materials and the training and what do they do?
I know, right? It sounds like so awesome. So I actually ran my first live event on Facebook back in March. And like everybody on my Facebook was like, this is awesome. Like, can I try it? Can I try it? And I had been teaching seniors so long that I thought, well, maybe I could pivot my business slightly and see if I can reach anyone here in through my Facebook contacts. And I started to run virtual paint classes every week. We started off with 3 classes a week. And we did that all the way through summer. And as we taught, more people were just looking for things to do. They were looking for things to kind of like for their children. They were looking for things for them to do that keep them entertained and engaged during, especially during the COVID lockdown and everything.
Now, were you always an artist?
I have always been an artist. I did go to school for graphic design and advertising. And I've always kind of followed my family's footsteps. And my dad's also an artist. So I learned a lot of my skills through him when I was very young.
Is that a cat I hear?
It's my parrot.
Oh, your parrot. I was wondering what the squeaky noise was. Sorry. So how do you like get the materials to people?
So actually,
things they got to go out and buy?
Generally, people that are interested, some of them that are interested already have supplies, but most people just run out to their local craft store and purchase the supplies. I give them a full list of everything. Anybody that wants to attend, I let them know far in advance what we need. I also do make kits available. So, we've been doing a lot of companies and corporations where they're looking for things to engage their staff and their employees. So I've been making kits and sending them out. We do custom aprons with their logo on it.
Okay,
and really
so for the first session, what do? You do like you've got a martini glass behind you. Do you draw a glass?
Well, actually, yeah. So, we could definitely do a workshop where you could choose a painting based on a theme. So maybe this month is obviously Valentine's. So we want to do something around love. And
I don't know. I think drawing a glass might be a little bit easier for me than 2 figures under a tree.
Well, we could definitely do that. And I mean, I think it's just really, getting a lot of people saying, oh, I've never done this before. Like I'm a little nervous, or I can't even draw stick people. And I just say, come on, I'm just going to make it really fun and easy for you. We're going to go through it step by step and you're going to learn.
I think it sounds fascinating. Why do you think people enjoy it so much?
Oh my gosh, they enjoy it because there's actually just becomes a sense of actually feeling like they belong to something. So now the people that are joining are looking forward to the next session. So they feel like they belong. And then of course, I'm like always acknowledging them. I really want them to feel proud and like a sense of pride when they're finished. And just there's this sense of like just feeling acknowledged.
How do you do singles? Like, why would singles want to go on a painting thing virtually? And how do they meet? Like, what's the benefit?
Well, the benefit for singles is to meet other people.
But they're on virtual and they're painting. You're not.
Oh, no, but we can do games and any kind of like trivia and get to know you games in between. So it makes it really friendly and interactive. And of course, we leave the chat open. So if anybody wants to connect.
You're going to tell me about some things that one of the organizations that's MNP had to say about it?
Yeah, MNP was just fantastic. We've done a lot of paint events with them. They are amazing. I mean, one of the things that they keep saying is like how much fun it was. And it just was like a stress reliever. So how much fun it was. And it was like a stress reliever for them. So, you're working all day and you're looking for you remember those times when you would carpool to work or you'd go for lunch with a friend. Like we don't have that anymore. So we need to find new innovative ways to build those connections and relationships with our clients and our employees internally.
I got to tell everyone a couple of the great references that Kimberly got from this MNP team members. They had to say it was a fun and stress reliever with a smiley face. So surprising that I was able to do it, and it looks pretty good at the end. Well done all. Excellent event. Lots of fun. Sounds like it was a big success.
It was a huge success.
And they brought their families to it too?
You could bring your families and sit down. So if anybody else wants to attend, they can and just join in the Zoom. This month, we're doing an event for LinkedIn as well. They love it for all their staff. We've had high-end executives, partners of companies. It's just awesome to see them coming together and just having some fun and taking their mind off things.
Why do you do this?
Oh my gosh, why do I do this? People ask me this all the time. I do this because I love there's some sense of fulfillment after you complete a class, like you just helped support someone or you made a difference with somebody. And I think really what's fulfilling for me is seeing that they get to take those skills and maybe somewhere out there they've gone and like painted a picture for someone, which I know a lot of my artists do. They'll go and share their painting with someone they love or gift it away. And I think it's just seeing that, there's just like, it makes me feel really good. Yeah, it really does.
Is this good for everyone or just people that are artistically inclined?
It's good for everyone. My youngest student was 2 now, mind you, she had an adult with her. And my oldest student participant she was 102 and all ages in between. So, I had a family member who'd never ever painted before. And for the first time at 77 years old, picked up paintbrush in this class during COVID in the beginning of March. And she's now painting every week with us, and she's painting paintings for her dentist and for people at, so she's giving them away as gifts as well. So it's just awesome to see their transformation and enjoyment.
I think one of the other things, and one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on, is that during COVID-19, it's almost been a time of sort of self-reflection, self-discovery. And I've interviewed a bunch of different people that have actually found that during this time, they've been able to explore some of their creativity, whether it be painting or music or practicing the piano or something they haven't even done since they were a kid. Also fitness, where people have gone out and done things from a fitness standpoint that they may not have had time when they were spending an hour or 2 hours commuting every day. So I think that it's something that, and it looks like we're going to have another little while of this, staying at home and social isolating or physically isolating and distancing. So isn't it wonderful to be able to explore your creative side?
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, it's just like, let's just try something. Let's just try it. Just try something new. Also, that's really great because now we can reach a larger audience. Like, you're in one city and I'm in another city. I've got people from the States coming from Oregon. It's really cool to see people from BC and Calgary coming on these workshops. So that part's really neat that we can reach more people so we can include everybody.
Once COVID's done, are you going to continue doing virtual or are you going to go back to real life events?
You know what I was thinking about that because I thought, what would it look like after this is over? I think that people are going to be really looking forward to doing in-person events. And I still think there'll be an opportunity for doing things virtually. I think we'll have to see based on the comfort of people once we're finished all of this.
Well, I think it sounds fascinating. I want to give it a try. I'm not sure. Actually, I think I mentioned to you, my mom is an art expert. She was a docent at the Art Gallery of Ontario and the National Gallery of Art, and she's done a couple of art appreciation shows with me, and it's fascinating. And she's very creative. I've never painted, and I'd love to give it a try. So I'm going to sign up. If people want to sign up, if I want to sign up, how do I do that? How do I contact you?
Oh, how you can contact me is you just go to kimberflydesign.com. So the website,
kimberflydesign.com.
Yep. Or you can follow me on social media at kimberflydesign. Yep. Or awesome. If you want to, you can Google Young at Heart painting. You may see a few seniors pictures of them painting. Yeah.
Young at Heart painting. Sounds good. And Kimberly Fly Design.
Kimberfly
Design.
Yeah.
Awesome. We're going to take a break and come back more with Kimberly Smith. And we're going to change topics and we're going to talk about her book that she has written about transformation. And sounds like, another interesting process that we can go through during COVID-19 timeout. Stay with us. Well, welcome back to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour on Saga 960. We're chatting tonight with Kimberly Smith, and we've just chatted about her virtual painting classes, which sound fascinating. I really want to check them out because I've always thought it'd be kind of fun to try my hand at painting. My mom is good at it, and it sounds like Kimberly's been able to motivate young people, old people.
You are welcome anytime.
I look forward to it.
Yeah.
But I also found that it was really kind of interesting that what Kimberly did is she wrote a book. And the book is called My Life by Design, the Ultimate Transformational Journal and Workshop. The
Workbook, yeah.
Transformational Journal and Workshop. And she actually runs weekly journaling sessions on this. Kimberly, why did you write this book? And what is it about? Is it about your transformation or about other people's transformation?
You know what? I wrote this book because I saw that journaling can be used as a tool to help you reach your goals. And, you know, I was working in the corporate world and I was just like not enjoying it. My girlfriend suggested I get a language and life coach, which I was very skeptical about at the time. And at the first meeting, he said,
what the heck is a language and life coach?
well, a life coach, like helping you reach your goals, right? If you're in a stressful situation or you don't, you know, you're not happy where you are, like within my career. And then, you know, language coach was someone who uses, you know, it's how to use and articulate using positive language.
Okay. And so that got you into it somehow.
Yeah, that got me into it. So eventually, you know, I saw that when I was starting to write things down, like I was seeing that my mindset was clearer, I was feeling more positive, and things that I was writing down started to happen.
Sounds like sort of manifesting your future.
You got it. Absolutely. And so when I saw that that was happening, you know, I've spent like a lot of time, you know, and dollars into personal development and coaching. And I thought, you know, well, I bet there's a lot of people out there that could probably use this as a tool, and maybe I could teach them something.
And so that's why you wrote the book.
That's why I wrote the book. And back in, I wrote it actually a couple of years ago, but it wasn't until this year, about a year ago, that I hired a designer to help me put it together and launched and then started to sell it sold it in September on Amazon.
Have you got one nearby? You can show us the cover?
I absolutely do. And it was actually just like, you know, really more for me to just say that I wrote a book, but I didn't actually think that, you know, anything.
My Life by Design.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Fantastic.
So I didn't.
And so in this it's a workbook. So it will help the reader actually force us to journal? Like I would have thought a journal is sort of like a diary that all you do is write. So is it just blank pages?
Yeah, no, I think a lot of people have that mindset that journaling is like writing like a diary, like you're going to write some story. And journaling's really got so many other, there's so many different benefits to it. And there's so many different ways to journal. And so what I've done is I've created a workbook with inside the journal. So there are like about 250 line pages. And then there's also a workbook section in the beginning of the book, which walks you through how to journal, the benefits of journaling. It talks about goal setting, you know, writing affirmations, the use of positive language, which I learned years ago. And, you know, it's really—
What's writing affirmations?
What's that?
What is writing affirmations?
Like writing affirmations, like the I am statements that keep you in a positive frame of mind. So
give me an example. I am what?
I am powerful. I am successful. I am able to accomplish all and fulfill on all of my dreams. Things like that. These
positive affirmations are things that you write down and then read on a fairly regular basis?
You can do that. Absolutely. Yeah. So what I saw when I wrote the book, I thought, you know, here was someone who had never written before. I always grew up not really loving English because of something that happened to me in grade 5 when I went to go ask my teacher in grade 5 on how to spell something. He's like, don't you know the answer to that? And at that moment, I really thought that I wasn't good at English. So it was a real big accomplishment for me to just even say that I could actually write a book. And then when I put it on Amazon, I started to share it on my social platforms. I was surprised to see that people had heard about gratitude journals and they thought journaling was going to be an interesting idea. So I put together journal workshops. So we get together on Mondays at 7 o'clock and we go through the workbook and we're working on different goals. And some people are already like accomplishing goals. I've got one girl who's, you know, she really wanted to put her art into a cafe. She's put her art into her cafe. I had one lady, you know, they've committed to doing these certain things throughout the process of our journal sessions, and they're starting to see that things that they're saying and we're talking about, like they're actually, things are moving.
So a difference between a journal and a diary is what? A diary is something that you write about just what happened, and a journal is things that you want to have happen?
I don't know. I've never written diaries, but I think my take on it would be like, maybe you're writing about a story about something that happened to you. I mean, it sounds like it would be something like a secret crush or something you would want to write down. But as far as like journaling in this sense, it would be more like how to, you know, accomplish your dreams, manifest, keeping yourself in a positive state of mind. And as we know, during what we're going through right now, you know, using this as a tool to kind of maybe get empowered. We have an accomplishment tracking list. So we write down like our wins for the week so that you can actually get present to some of the great things that you're doing. Because I think some of the times we forget about those things that are actually good that are happening in our life. We forget that we had those accomplishments. So just keeping us in a positive frame of mind.
Has journaling helped you?
Absolutely, 100%. I mean, I'm very fortunate that, I wrote down in my journal that I wanted to live in a condo by the lake. I do that. I have started my business through journaling because I wrote down that I wanted to have my own business. I said I wanted to be in the media, and here I am with you. And I was also on the news this summer. And I just, I've created the income that I've wanted, and I've used journaling as a tool to accomplish all those things.
And why? So you think that it's just because you wrote it down that it comes true?
Well, I think so. Yeah, I think that's a huge step of it. Yeah, you have to write it down. Absolutely, 100%. You got to write it down. And then there's other tools too that you can use. Is just let's just have a conversation about it. Like, what is that you're writing down? There's a little bit of that too. Like, write down, tell someone about it. And you never know where it's going to take you.
So I do some speeches on similar topics to this, and I use a couple of personal experiences. I'm a firm believer that you got to know where you're going or know where you want to go, so it's setting that vision, and that you got to write it down, and that you got to make it real. And I think what you're doing is a couple of things. By writing things down, you're obviously thinking through what it is you want to achieve: that condo by the water, the being in the media, launch the successful business, etc. And so many people don't actually think about what it is they want to achieve in life. They don't.
Yeah, a lot of people, 100%. A lot of people don't. They're just kind of going through, life, or they're okay at their job, and they're just kind of content with things. And, I think in every one of us, we all have dreams. We all have things that we want to accomplish, but yet we're just comfortable where we are. And so we stop dreaming. We stop visualizing, what would it look like if I had this thing in my life?
So I think that you just said another really important word: visualize. And so I think vision boards are really helpful. And vision boards are, pictures on the wall of things that you want to achieve. Maybe a picture of a condo with a gorgeous view of a lake, for an example. And therefore, by writing it down in detail, and I presume in your journal you're explaining it a little bit, you make it real, and you make it more, cemented in your mind.
Yeah, 100%. I've written down that, I want to make X amount of dollars, and now making X amount of dollars, through the tools that I've illustrated in the book, has helped me to create that in my life. I'm 100% that it works. And so, I thought, if there's other people like myself, why not be able to share the tools that I've learned to help the other people accomplish the dreams that they want? I mean, we all have things that we want. We just need someone to show us how.
We all know the things that we want. We just need someone to show us how. That's pretty profound.
And that's what I'm doing. I just want to support people. I've seen how it works. And, I really want to support people to have that happen for them as well.
So I'll tell you a quick story. I went to business school in the United States, and my master's, I'd done an undergraduate in Canada. Thought, hey, I've already done this. This is going to be easy. I'm going to do great. The very first marketing exam in October, guess what happened? I flunked. I was devastated. I couldn't believe it. I failed the first marketing exam. I was absolutely devastated. I was destroyed. And I went home that day, and I gave it a lot of thought, and I wrote down that I was going to achieve the big award that school gave out. It was called a George Baker Scholar. And that was 18 months hence. I wrote it down. I looked at it on a sign on my wall every day, several times a day, because it was right above my desk. I couldn't sit down at my desk without seeing it. 2 years later, guess what happened?
It happened.
Right? Because I wrote it down, because I said it, because I believed it, because I repeated it all the time, and because I made it real. So it wasn't a journal, but it was, a vision board type thing.
Yeah.
It happened. And the other interesting thing is that I also don't think it would have happened if that failure hadn't happened. And so therefore, often failure is the kick in the butt to get you to achieve those things that you can achieve if you only put your mind to it. And I probably, if I hadn't had that kick in the butt, wouldn't have made the pledge, wouldn't have had the vision, wouldn't have done the work, and wouldn't have achieved it.
Yeah, that's why, I love when things go wrong, because there's just something there to learn. There's probably more to discover about something more that you like, or maybe there's something that you've outgrown. That's so awesome. I love that story.
So why a journaling club?
Well, the journal, actually, when I wrote the book, I thought it would just be, an opportunity for me to just say, okay, here, I've done something that I never thought I could do. For one, but then I thought if I could do something that I never thought I could do, I wonder if this tool, how this workbook will help other people. And I thought I wanted to bring people together and see what kind of community we could create. And we had this conversation last week, and we're talking about, really, why are you here? And people were saying that they just want a community to help support them, to lift them up. They want that people are craving for people to help. We all want to feel like we belong, and especially now.
But if you're creating just a club on a Monday evening at 7 o'clock, it's probably with people they've never even met before. And don't you want to have that kind of accountability with people you know? Why is that helpful, interacting with people you've never met before?
You know what? I don't know. It's like there's something inside of me that just says that, it's like my calling, like my purpose is to support people. And I think like there's so many different people that come on the calls. I've had people from Texas and people from Toronto and people in BC. At the end of the day, like we all have things that we want to, like, that maybe we either are dealing with, or there's things that we want that we're like intrigued, like, how do we get there? And so that's why I'm really there to support them through the journey.
So there's an interesting concept called social capital, and there's two different types of social capital. One is bonding social capital, which are those close friends and family members that you talk to all the time. And the second is called often bridging social capital. A gentleman by the name of Mark Granovator wrote a sort of a critical paper about 2 decades ago and called it the strength of weak links. And it's those weak links that actually are stronger in your development. And his argument was those bonding social capital, those bonding relationships you have, you already know everything about them. And so they're there to sort of keep you from, going down the depth of whatever in the bad times. But it's the bridging relationships you have that are people that are different than you, that you don't know as well, that are the friends of friends, or the friends that you don't see quite as often, that bring you new ideas, that provide you with resources, that introduce you to new people that you're going to meet, that are going to create new businesses opportunities with, or new relationships with, or new friendships with. And so it's the people that broaden your life. And the other example that people often use is the tree. It's the tree and the roots that are your bond, the people that, hold you firm. But it's the branches that branch out to other people that allow you to flourish and blossom. Yeah. And so I think what you're doing with your club is you're allowing people to reach out to other people that are going to give them ideas.
Oh, 100%. That's what we were doing. Like on Monday, someone opens up a conversation about, hey, I want to get back into fitness. And another lady says, oh yeah, my sister, she's a personal trainer. I'll send you some videos. And then the next person said, and all of a sudden we're all supporting each other. And it's not just me, but it's me trying to create the space for them to come together and help support each other. Because we all have resources, like you said, we all can support each other. We just need a platform for us to come together to be able to share.
And ideas and accountability.
Yeah. Oh, 100% accountability. Yeah.
These AA meetings, one of the keys is that you're coming every week to say that I've got one more week dry. And so it's that accountability with people. Yeah. I've always, wish someone could get me working out like that. Maybe I need a personal fitness coach. What are some of the things that people are saying about your journal club?
Oh my gosh. I think what they're saying, like people I think are just saying that it's just been very positive and they're feeling like a sense of community. I think one of the ladies last week, she says, feels like like my tribe here, like there's a really cool vibe. We're just supporting each other. There's like, someone commented, it gives them a sense of hope too. I mean, with everything going on in the world and all this uncertainty, wouldn't it be nice to go to something where you feel like maybe there's some hope to actually make things happen that they want to have accomplished in their life?
Sounds like this book and this journaling club on Monday nights could be really helpful to people.
Yeah, it is. It's been awesome. I'm just excited to see where it's going to go. And I'm really committed that, we're going to be doing this every Monday at 7.
What are you more excited about, the painting or the journaling?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's really just seeing someone starting from the beginning and seeing their progress, and then where they go, and like seeing their transformation of how they've either taken on painting or they've started a company and now have clients. That is what excites me. So I think it's the same for both.
Kimberly, that's fascinating. Have you got something from the book that you could actually read us?
I absolutely do. Okay, here we go. I'm sharing what tools to use to manifest your dreams because I believe this to be my truth and my experience. And it's okay if you've never journaled before. Many haven't. The magic is transferring your thoughts to pen and paper. Look, review, keep it fresh in your consciousness. That's how it gets manifested. How many times have you heard someone say, or perhaps you've said it to yourself, oh, if I only had this, I would do that. Did anything come of the statement? We all talk like this. Put your talk into action, write it down, and see what happens.
Put your talk into action, write it down, and see what happens.
You got it.
What do you think the word manifest means?
Oh gosh, manifest is like, what does manifest mean? Manifest to me means something that you desire and you're actually just putting all your energy towards it, that it's going to happen. Like you're going to write it down. You might talk about it. You might share it. You might, like you said, vision board it. You might be, I don't know, have an accountability partner around it, taking new actions, and eventually it comes to fruition.
This is fascinating that you went through this process a couple of years ago, that you then hired this coach. You had a girlfriend that recommended, what was it, a language and life coach or something like this?
Yes.
And you started journaling. It changed your life in some ways. You changed your career and went from a corporate marketing background to your own entrepreneurial business. And now you're changing other people's lives.
Yeah. And that's what it's all about. And, just like what you're doing today, I mean, just giving people a voice, giving people, an opportunity to share what they're up to. I mean, it's so fulfilling, right? You get to help support other people and what they're up to in their life. I mean, there's nothing better than going out and supporting someone.
But the other thing that you're doing is through your painting, you're allowing people to find their creativity. Through their writing, you're finding some creativity. Mm-hmm. And then through the virtual clubs and through the journaling clubs and sessions, they're finding friends. They're finding bridging social capital. They're finding contacts. They're getting ideas and resources from other people. They're getting support from other people.
Yeah, like just after last week's journal club, they put together a workout group. So now they've got a group of them that are going to hold each other accountable to go work out. So, and getting the emails, and someone went out for their walk, and, they're now creating their own community outside of this.
So this is interesting. I do a talk on the 10 powers of co. And some of them are community connections, compassion, et cetera. And I really think that what you're doing is actually putting into practice a bunch of those concepts that, I had in my 10 powers of co that people talk about in regards to social capital. And that also people have talked about the problem with the definition that we've all been told about social distancing, which I feel very strongly is wrong. We should be physically distancing, but socially close to people. And what you're doing is during COVID-19, you're finding some ways, whether through paint or journaling, to have people be close to each other.
100%. And I think that's really what we're social beings. We need to be around each other somehow. And for myself, as well, I'm very social. So this has given me an opportunity to stay connected with people. And I think people are really looking forward to that. So they're just getting some real fulfillment out of it and enjoyment just to be with each other and having some fun, taking their mind off things, and just getting connected and having like a little fun.
Show us the book cover again, please.
Yeah, sure.
And tell us where we can get it.
Okay, so you could actually go to kimberflydesign.com. To purchase the book, or if you type it into Amazon, it's available on Amazon.
And how do I connect up, or someone else connect up for your Monday 7 p.m. journaling club?
Yeah, that's great. You could also visit kimberflydesign.com. Or if you want to find me on Instagram, you could look for @kimberflydesign.
We're chatting with Kimberly Smith, who's really created two new businesses. One is her painting business, and the second is her transformational workshops. We're going to take a break and come back more with Kimberly for some concluding comments in just a minute. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour. We're having a fun chat tonight with Kimberly Smith, who I think is really doing some interesting things. Number one, what she's done is she's launched a paint class, and she used to do these paint classes in real life, and now she's doing them virtually, and she's doing them for seniors, for young people, for old people, for singles, for lots of different people. And it sounds like a lot of fun and a way to sort of
connect
for your creativity and connect with people.
Yep.
And then the second thing she's done is she's written a book. Remind us the title of the book.
The book is called My Life by Design, the Ultimate Transformational Journal and Workbook.
The Ultimate Transformational Journal and Workbook. Fantastic. And then she also does these transformational journaling workshops with clubs of people on Monday evenings at 7:00. And, I really firmly believe that this journaling is a very helpful process. And we talked about, visioning, trying to figure out what you want to do, make it real, put it down in writing, read it every day, and manifesting your future. Sounds like you're up to a lot. Do you have time to do anything else?
You know what? Despite everything that we've talked about, I do have time for other things. I just as I love to bring people together, that I also started in November another business called, is virtual wine tasting. So, we're seeing a lot of companies now looking for things to do. There's no games to take them to. There's no sports games or galas or dinners. So I've been working with a winery here in Ontario, and we're hosting virtual wine tasting event with some big companies. And so I hire.
When I go to a wine tasting, you've got to have 6 or 8 wines in front of you. How do you do that virtually?
Yeah, it's really great. So we ship the clients and the executives 3 bottles of wine. So they have a whole list of different wines, from sparklings to white and reds. And we ship them 3 bottles of wine. And then at the Zoom meeting, the Zoom event, we all show up on Zoom, and the 2 sommeliers are there, and the clients tend to say a few welcome words to their team members and their clients. And then we all open up the bottle of wine, and you can bring your family, you could bring your friends, well, depending on how many people you have. And then we go through each bottle.
Kimberly, you had a corporate job, correct?
I did. I worked in real estate marketing as an account executive.
A lot of people are thinking about their corporate job and wondering about, keeping it, paying the mortgage, all the bills they've got to have. And you gave that all up to do 2, maybe sounds like almost 3 entrepreneurial ventures.
Yes.
Is it the right decision?
Yes. Absolutely. Why? I mean, the one thing that I do miss as an entrepreneur, you have to look at how you're going to still build connections, right? Because you're working on your own a lot. So there was a couple, there was probably a 1.5 to 2 years where I was maybe I should just go back, because it just seemed easier. But, I kept pushing myself and having some really awesome mentors in my life. And I was you know what? No, I got to keep doing this. This is what I meant to do. And now as I continued it, it's been about 3 years now. It's there's nothing I can't do.
So if someone came to you and said, Kimberly, you know what? I've got this corporate job. It pays the bills. It pays the mortgage, but it's just drudgery. And I've got this dream of launching a blah, blah, blah entrepreneurial business. What would you say?
I would say, you know what? You'd need a little bit of a plan. Some people are very spontaneous and they will just quit their job and go for it. But if you have an idea of something that you wanted to do, when I left, I knew I wanted to teach seniors to paint. That was going to be my company.
Your raison d'etre at the time.
What's that?
Your raison d'etre, the thing you wanted to do.
It was the thing I wanted to do at the time, right? I didn't even know it was going to even work. But I just kept using I just kept getting out there and talking about it. And then before you know it, it just kind of picked up, and it took some time. So, if I were to look back and do it again, I might even say, have a part-time something that's creating some kind of income. It can be stressful. And I went from corporate to 0, no job. And then, 6 months later, starting my company, which took a long time to build. Yeah.
So you're not saying jump in with 2 feet. What you're saying is have a plan, think about it, but But if you have a plan and think about it, and you can be prepared, and you're willing to put up with this 2 to 3 years of a dip in income and a challenge, then you're saying go for it.
Yeah, like as long if you've got a little bit of finances that are there to provide you a little bit of cushion for some time before you get rolling, then absolutely I say go for it. You know what? We have one life. Let's make it happen. And there's always things, you're always evolving, you're always changing. So why not change with that? Like if there's something that you enjoy, go for it. 100%.
You have one life. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Another good, profound comment. So do you journal still?
I do. I journal almost every day.
Did you journal today?
I journaled, actually, I was just writing I wrote a gratitude list. So sometimes I write down in the morning 10 things I'm grateful for.
So what today did you write down that you're grateful for?
Oh my gosh. I wrote down that I'm grateful for a friend of mine who is so kind enough to, she brought me a pizza. Like it was so nice. So she brought me a pizza and I thought that was really nice. So, generous, usually it's like some kind of act of kindness or something that, I've been really, really appreciative for. Mm-hmm. What's
the future for Kimberly Smith?
Oh my gosh, the future. I mean, I would love to be able to bring these workshops to across the world. My goal this year is to impact 5,000 lives. So whether it's through the means of painting or the journaling workshops, or I guess even the wine tasting as well, to help bring people together and see their potential.
Kimberly Smith, thank you so much for joining us tonight and telling us about both your painting as well as your transformational journal and workshops. Tell us again what website we go to and what the Instagram account is that we can go to follow you.
Yeah, so you can go to kimberflydesign.com, kimberflydesign.com, or you can find me on Instagram at kimberflydesign.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining us and inspiring us. I'm going to go and try some journaling and maybe some painting. I really appreciate it.
Great.
So that's our show.
Can't wait to see you at our next session.
I look forward to it. So that's our show for tonight. Thank you all for joining us. I come to you every Monday through Friday at 6 o'clock on Saga 960 AM. That's either 960 on your AM dial, or you can stream me online at www.saga960am.ca, or you can get all my podcasts and videocasts, including the videocast with Kimberly Smith, on my website, briancrombie.com. Thanks. Good night. Have a nice weekend. Bye-bye.